All right, everybody is going to give a testimony or talk a little bit about what God is doing in their lives, what's been going on, whether it be at the school or whatever it is. They already know they have their speeches together. They'll be short, and we want everybody to listen and be attentive and be respectful during this time. As soon as everything is over today at lunchtime, the voting will take place, so you guys will vote. Make sure you come back there at lunch and do it. That's the only time you're going to have the opportunity to vote. The computers will be set up at the back in the back of the lunchroom, and you can vote for one person for king and one person for queen. And we take this seriously because, at this time, what we're trying to do, it's not a popularity contest anymore. It should be about, you looking at the person, the character of the person. And I'll tell you, all these folks up here are good candidates, and congratulations to all of them. But that's what we do for homecoming. We vote on a king and queen, and that's what we'll do today. So, one more thing I want to talk about is the rest of the week. You did really a pretty good job with dress code. There were a few questions that were asked, and I want to make sure that we're clear on it. No shorts. We don't wear shorts. Read the flyer. It's pretty clear. There's nothing on there that has changed. Everything is the same, and understand what we're supposed to do the rest of the week and stay within the guidelines, okay? Make sure, candidates, as soon as you come up, you give your name. Thank you.
All right, guys. I'm Trip Osmond, for those of y'all who don't know me, and I don't really have a compelling story that's going to lead to everyone on their knees and crying their eyes out and just going to get saved. But just try and hang with me and not fall asleep. So I've been going here since K5, and I've been thankful for my experience here and the great education that my parents have provided for me. But I mean, there were some days where I want to go to another school, like a Union Grove or something like that, because some of my friends here left and went to Union Grove, and they just thought it was like the greatest thing in the world, and it was the greatest school ever. And for one thing, I was tired of the blue piqué polo and khakis look every day. But on the other hand, if God hadn't placed me here, my life would be totally different. So we pray every morning before school starts over the intercom, and if I went to a Union Grove or something like that, we wouldn't be able to do that. And I don't think it's the praying that sets Elka apart. I think it's the discipline behind the praying every day and getting in the Word and spending time with God. And I think that discipline is really translated into my life at home. Sorry. And so I think that's one of the big lessons that I've learned here at Elka. So like when I'm at home and don't really want to do my devotion, I really have to force myself to do it until it becomes a habit. And another thing, I wouldn't have the lifelong friendships that I've made here and all the other various lessons. So there's another one of the lessons. So when I started ninth grade, I had a run-in with some peer pressure with some friends, and I just wanted to get away and go to a new school. I actually toured some other schools, but the Lord laid it on my heart that I was being really selfish. I just wanted to do what worked for me and not what everyone else, not what God wanted for me, and that's not really how God works. So yeah, I was just trying to get away, but thankfully the Lord, He brought me through those trials quickly, and I'm praising Him for that still today. And I learned to deal with the pressure pretty easily. So as I grew closer to the Lord throughout high school, I learned to trust in Him more instead of trying to take the matters into my own hands and make my situation better, which is pretty much nearly impossible. And as my time here at Elka is coming to an end, senior year, I've really been blessed for my experience here, and I'm not really taking one day for granted, even though the grass might be greener on the other side. And also, as I leave, I realize how important it is to leave a legacy and be remembered for something. I just don't want to be another kid in the blue polo, the khaki pants, and the Sperry's. So I want to thank y'all for allowing me to be nominated for King. Speaking of that uniform, I've been wearing that uniform for exactly 2,186 days, and I only have 154 days left to wear that uniform. So, and let's be honest, it's probably not going to be in my dorm room in college, but in these last few days, I'm going to try and wear it with pride. Thank you.
What's up, guys? My name's Luke Cagle. Hopefully by the end of the speech, you know more about me, and hopefully more about Christ as well. I've been at Elka for 14 years, so that'd be since K3, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. The main reason I've enjoyed my time at Elka as much as I have is because of you guys, and I'm not just saying that. Without you guys being a great group of people to be around, there'd be no enjoyment. During this time at Elka, I have played football when I was younger, but now I currently play basketball and soccer. I'm fortunate enough to not go through many struggles in my life, but the minor struggles I have been through, I thank the people that have been by my side. I cherish the memories that I've made here with many of you, like going to the state championship football game, or just listening to one of Coach Harris's great stories. I was saved in the 2nd grade, and I haven't regretted it since. And my life verse is Proverbs 22:1, which says, "A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches." And as Billy Graham once said, God has given us 2 hands, one to receive and one to give. Hopefully today, I give you guys one hand to receive. I have something you take away from me today. And no matter who you vote for, it's a great group of people up here. You're not making the wrong choice. So you're not making the wrong choice. As dumb it may sound, we are living legends. So let's live up to that. And I love you guys. Go Chargers.
Hello, everyone. My name is Garrett Cowart, for those of you who don't know me. I'd like to thank all of you for nominating me to be on homecoming court. I've been at Elka since 5th grade, and I currently participate in lacrosse and cross country. A little bit about myself is I was raised in a Christian home. I got saved when I was 6 years old, but up until high school, I just kind of went through the motions. But once I got in high school, I started to learn what it was like to really serve God and to have a relationship with Him. And now I'm continuing to grow my relationship with Him every day. I've been on a few mission trips. I've been to South Africa, and I've been to Honduras 4 times. And I'm going to be going with the school to Honduras during spring break. And I'm really looking forward to it and seeing how God moves through it. Through going on these trips, it's really helped me to open my eyes and grow closer with God. And just makes me grateful for everything that we have here in America and helps me not to take everything for granted. I just want to leave you guys with my life verse, which is Galatians 6:14, which says, "But far be it from me to boast except in the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, by which the world has been crucified to me and I to the world." Thank you.
My name is Donald Hammond, and this is my testimony. Throughout my life, I've been challenged in numerous situations, and some of them hasn't been painful as death in the family or something to that extent, but they have challenged my faith. Last year, I was not able to play the first 4 games, and I asked God why multiple times, and He taught me a lesson of patience, which is at the core of being a Christian. In Isaiah 40:31, it says, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength." Now I appreciate and embrace every opportunity to get to stand on this stage and give my speech to you guys. Took sacrifices, not from me, but from my parents. I won't elaborate on that because of time restraints, but I know my parents sacrificed a lot to allow me to be in this situation, and I'm grateful for them, and I appreciate the adults that have influenced my life in a positive and godly way. I give God the glory for my talents and my intellect because I know that it serves an ultimate goal to promote Him and His word. Thank you.
All right. Hello, my name is Dalton Hardiman. I'm a senior, and I've gone here since the 4th grade, and I've enjoyed every year here. And
I play football, I wrestle, and I play lacrosse. My parents have sacrificed a lot for me to get to be able to go here, and I'm very grateful for that. They wanted me to have the Christian education and good Christian environment. I got saved when I was 6 years old. It was a Sunday night after church, and I remember that night the preacher was preaching on salvation, and I could feel the Lord working and dealing with me when I was at church. So then when I got home, I asked my parents, what I need to do to get saved. And so they took me through the plan of salvation, and my daddy led me to the Lord that night. And I accepted the Lord into my heart, and I just made him the Lord of my life. And I'm very thankful that my parents have raised me in a Christian home, because I don't know if I'd be the person I am today if it wasn't for that. I know I love the Lord with all my heart, and I try my very best every day to live how I'm supposed to live and be a light for him so that I'll be able to point others to Christ by the way I live my life. I'm not really sure where the Lord is going to lead me in the future, but I look forward to wherever he has in store for me because I know it's going to be great. My life verse is 2 Corinthians 12:9. God says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly in my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me." And I really love this verse because I know that I am weak, and I can't rely on my own strength to be able to do what I need to do. And so when I admit that, I know the Lord is going to put his power upon me and give me strength to do all that I need to do. And I just like Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So I want to thank all y'all for selecting me to represent my senior class. It really means a whole lot to me. Thank you.
How y'all doing? Well, my name's Christopher Lightsey. I've been here since the 3rd grade. I was born and raised at Glen Haven Baptist Church, and we were very involved as a family. I was saved at 8 years old at the beach in Florida. I feel like God has protected me a lot because I was saved at such a young age. I enjoy playing football. I like lacrosse. I like building cars. I like riding dirt bikes. I like going to the beach and surfing and having a good time with my friends. I have enjoyed all of my years at Elka, and it is an honor to be on the homecoming court with all my fellow classmates. And I look forward to seeing what God has in store for my life and how he's going to use me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chandler Reeves, and I've attended Elka for 5 years. And I can honestly say that these past 5 years have been some of the best years of my life. I'd like to start by thanking the senior class for voting me to represent you guys in homecoming court. It is definitely an honor, and I would like to say that you couldn't go wrong with voting for any of these guys up here because it is truly a great group of women, men and women. Excuse my stuttering, I'm not a public speaker by any means. But today I would just like to take a second to speak to you all about a verse that kind of God touched me with, and I think it's actually the school's kind of like theme verse for the year. But as I was kind of struggling with something to speak about, and kind of like Tripp said, like not a testimony that would have anybody on their knees or anything like that, which is completely fine. But so I came across this verse, and it's Romans 12:2, and it says, "Don't be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." I think this verse has a lot to do with us as high schoolers in many different ways, and I'd like to start off by kind of relating it to maybe the underclassmen or freshmen and sophomores. I think it's easy for us as high schoolers to come into high school out of 8th grade. I know it was for me, come in and just conform to the way of the high school. I don't want to be recognized, I don't want to be seen, so I'm just going to come into the high school hallways, I'm going to walk like everyone, I'm going to talk like everyone, I'm going to look like everyone, and no one's going to notice me, and I can just breathe through high school and kind of follow the path of everyone else. And I think that's really the opposite of what God calls us to do. As Christians, I think he calls us to be different, to stand alone, whether it's us following a different path from what everyone in our friend group is doing or what everyone else in the high school is doing. I think God, he has a bigger plan for us as Christians in this school. And so that's kind of my thing to the underclassmen. And then to the upperclassmen, I would just say, to be people that these underclassmen can follow and can stand behind, be leaders, be people that are different, be people that are a light to the community, and that these underclassmen can love and look up to and learn from. And I pray that we would just leave a legacy here at Elka, and something for everyone behind us to look up to. But in closing, I would just like to say now that how important it is for us to constantly be striving to not conform to the ways of the world, but to be transformed by what God has given us in His Word and what He's provided for us by sending His Son to die on the cross. And ultimately, that's the greatest gift in the world, and it's the gift that changed my life forever. And it's the thing that helps me wake up every single morning and get out of bed and go fight and do what I'm supposed to do and be the person that I'm supposed to be, because I know that God sent His Son to die and to just forgive my sins. And so that's kind of the thing that keeps me going. But again, I would just like to thank the senior class for voting for me and the rest of us guys to represent you guys for homecoming court. And I'm looking forward to a really great homecoming week that's fun. And go Tigers.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Brown, and this is my 7th year at Elka. During my 7 years here at Elka, I have participated in both competition cheer and basketball. I've enjoyed making lifelong friendships and learning how to become a team player. Although my time is beginning to run out here at Elka, the school has taught me many valuable lessons. The most important thing the school has taught me is how to have a personal relationship with Christ. I never understood that a relationship with God wasn't just going to church every Sunday, but that it was a day in and day out way of living. Now that I have begun to grow in my relationship with Him, it has started paying off in many different ways in my life. Although I still make mistakes along the road, God is still there to help me push through and show both grace and mercy when I do. I'm thankful that God has shown favor towards me and given me a clean slate. I'm thankful that my parents have made the sacrifice and allowed me to get a God-based education while attending a Christian school is truly an honor. So I say to all of you, don't take this for granted, but take advantage of this opportunity to get your education and the opportunity to grow in your walk with God. I would like to say thank you for picking me as thank you for choosing me to represent the senior class. And in closing, I would like to leave this verse with you, Philippians 4:19, which says, "And in this same God who takes care of me will supply all of your needs for His glorious riches, which have been given to us in Christ Jesus."
Hello, my name is Macy Dunaway, Macy Lynn Dunaway, if you'd like a formal name, and I've attended Elka for 11 years now, and while I've been here, I've participated in softball, basketball, golf, wrestlerette, cheerleading, Beta Club, FCA, and student council, and then some other things here and there, so I like to participate. The question that we were given to talk about is, where are you now with your walk with God? And I can't really tell you where I am now if I don't kind of briefly state where I've been. And I can't tell you my story without mentioning this school. So basically, I've grown up in a Christian home. I've always attended a Christian school. I've gone to church, so I've been there. And it wasn't until middle school when I realized who God was and I accepted Christ. But I went throughout middle school, and I didn't really want to tell anyone because all my friends had been baptized, and I didn't think I should because it might make fun of me or something like that. And then I went, high school hit, and probably like many, I got caught up in the world. I got caught in everything this world brings, and I was slowly drifting away from God instead of going toward Him. And it wasn't till one night, and I'm not going to get into all that, but it was like in an instant, God brought me back. He pulled me back in, and it just showed me His love and His grace. And it made me realize about how thankful I should be to attend here and how hard my parents worked to put me here. It has been a privilege to attend this school, and it's a privilege to come here every morning and being able to pray and just have debates about God because many cannot. When I realized mainly that I had to die to myself before I could live through Christ was probably the best thing I've ever realized. It was when I realized that I need to kill my pride and just live throughout God because there's nothing in this world that can satisfy that. He is our hope. And then Psalm 63:3 says, His love is greater than life itself. And that's just it. God's love is greater than anything you could put your hope in. It's greater than anything. I know I just said that, but His love never fails and His mercy never runs out. And His kingdom is shining all around if you just look. So I want to thank you for this opportunity and giving me this chance. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Madison Fielding, and I've been going to Ilka since my freshman year of high school. And I just want to talk about first how thankful I am for this school and the people in it, because all the friends that I've met, they've all been really genuine and heartfelt. And I came from a public school. I used to go to Union Grove, and just it was a different scene coming here, but all the friends that I've made are really genuine. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity that my parents, they sacrificed to send me here, because I know it's a lot. And I also know that this school's opened my eyes in ways I can't even describe. And getting to experience God and just have a relationship with Him openly every day is something I could never repay them for. And also, through Elka, I've had the opportunity to go to Jamaica. And put it simply, it was one of the most life-changing experiences that I've ever been through. And just the love and the joy that they have there, and the thankfulness that they have, even with how little that they have. They're thankful for God despite their conditions and how little that they have. And there was an instance with a little boy named Demoy with me. He came up and sat next to me when we were having church one day. And he sat next to me and said, "Hey, can I sit next to you? Can we be friends or whatever?" And he followed me around that entire week. And then we had an Easter egg hunt because we were there over the break. And he had a big basket of candy, and all he wanted to do was offer it to me. And I just thought it was a testament to me that look how much I have and how little that he has. And he still wants to give it all to me just because he loved me. It was something that really changed my life. And if any of y'all have the opportunity to go to Jamaica or any of the mission trips here, I would definitely recommend it. And then last, I just wanted to leave with you guys something that God's really laid on my heart. I went to Passion City Church over the summer a few times, and one time when I went there, Louis was talking about the story of Hosea and Gomer. I don't know if any of you guys know that, but it basically is the Lord told Hosea to marry Gomer, and she was a prostitute, which of course was going to be hard for him because he was a man of the Lord. But he obeyed God, but eventually, once they had kids and had started a family, she kind of drifted away and went back to her old ways, and she had a child that wasn't with him, and eventually she ran away and just completely betrayed him. And when he heard the news that she had gone away, he wasn't happy that revenge had come back to bite her or that she got everything that she deserved. He actually went and he looked for her and he pleaded for her to come back. He bought her back, and he just proclaimed his love for her and said, I'll be yours if you will be mine. And to me, this was kind of a story of unending love, and that the story of Hosea and Gomer kind of fades away, but Jesus comes in and he says, I will seek after you, and I will find you, and I will pour out my affections for you. And this just kind of says that Jesus doesn't care how far away we betray, or how far we run away from him, or how many times we betray him. He's going to come find us, and he's going to hold us no matter how broken we are. And he's going to tell us that it's all going to be okay, and that he's going to come searching for us no matter what. He loves us, and he extends his love to us each and every day. You're never too far gone, and no matter how far we run away, he'll run after us, and he loves us. And the way that Louis described it to me just made me realize how awesome our God is. And last, I just wanted to leave a verse with y'all. It's 2 Corinthians 4:17 through 18. And it says, For this light momentary affliction is preparing us for an eternal weight of glory, beyond all comparison, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. And I just encourage all of you guys to focus on the things that matter, which is the Lord and your relationship with him and with others. And I just hope you guys can use that every day in your lives. Thank you.
Hi, friends. I'm Ansley. I want to start off by saying, well, thank you for putting me on the court and all that, and I'm very honored, seriously. But I want to start off with my testimony. I remember I'm growing up, and since birth, I've been growing up in a Christian home, and I get really emotional when I talk about this, but I remember, oh gosh, when I was 6 years old, coming home from school with my brother back in the public school days. We went to a public elementary school, and we came off the bus, and I remember seeing all these cars in my driveway. Me and Darius, He graduated from here last year, for those of you who know him. I remember I was like running up in the driveway thinking like some big party was going on in the middle of the week, of the school week. And then I remember getting there and we were asking my mom like what's going on, and she told us we had to wait till my sister came home. She was at middle school at the time, so they got out a little bit later. And then I remember when my sister finally got home, they took us up to my mom's bedroom, and I remember my mom telling us that my father passed away, and gosh, I'm not trying to get sympathy votes or anything, but it's a part of me. So I remember when I was 6 at the time, like, to me as a 6-year-old, you're just sad about it. So you're just like really sad, like my father's not gonna be around anymore. But then as I grew up, I came to realize that I became a very angry person, because like people would like talk about their parents and both of their parents being home, or even if they had split up homes, they still had their mom and their dad. And I just remember being angry, and then I started to be angry with God, and I blamed him for a lot of my sadness and a lot of things that had went on in my life that not even anyone knows except for like immediate family that knows about me. Not even my closest friends know certain things that went on in my house and everything. So I remember being angry and growing up angry, and then like I remember being saved in middle school here, but at the same time it wasn't really from the heart. So then I remember one day at the church that I used to go to for the one I went to now, I remember the pastor and the choir just singing, and something hit me, and I got like real emotional, and I felt his presence, and I knew it was God. And then I just remember that I needed to turn my life around and not be angry at him, because I knew what he did for me and for my family was for the better. Even when my dad passing away, it taught me a lesson. And I remember like up to like past 9th grade, I started to become more of a, I mean, I'm still a little bit, whatever. Y'all know I'm crazy a little bit. But I remember becoming more of a calm person spiritually and emotionally and understanding people. And a lot of times I hold things in. But now I'm like, God taught me a lot of things about how to control my emotions and not to be angry. And I come to love the Lord a whole lot, and a lot of times people don't see that, but I really do. And I remember I was just talking to my friend Callan earlier today, and I was like, and I told her that I was thinking about sharing this with y'all and how should I give this speech. And I told her that last night I was praying about it, and how like I read a verse, and it was telling me that when I'm talking of the Lord, don't do it for a selfish reason to let people see how I am, but to let see his glory in everything that he does. And I want to leave y'all with the verse. It's Romans 6:23. And I know we had a verse quiz for those in Coach Allen's Bible class, but it's not from that. I've been applied this verse to my life, and it goes, for the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus. And I want you guys to know, when you're walking around the halls or when you're walking outside of the school of Elka, don't be indebted to sin. Why would you give your life to somebody like Satan that doesn't care anything about you, when God gave up his son? He gave up his son to save us. Don't be indebted to something that doesn't even matter. Give your life to Christ and show everyone that you are a leader. And I know sometimes I could be a little weary in my walk with God, and sometimes you could see that. At the same time, everything I do and everything that I want to do is for God. And I know going to colleges for all our seniors, remember that, and just love God, love people, and thanks for voting for me on the court. All right.
I'm Tori Gordon, and I've been at Elka for 13 years. I've been involved in many different sports over the years, and I'm also part of Yearbook and Guitar. Today, I'm going to talk about my faith and walk with Christ. I'm not going to share as much as my testimony, but rather what God has been laying on my heart lately. These past 2 years, I can see that God has worked in my life by speaking to me in different ways. One of them was when Miss McKnight assigned us to write an essay that we had to write something that we believe in. So I decided to write in the meaning of purpose. Purpose is the reason for which something is done, created, or for which something exists. I choose this topic because the past 2 years I have come to realize that God has created every single one of us for our own unique purpose. Whether it may be something small, such as giving someone a compliment, or even showing a random act of kindness. Everyone has their own struggles, and I believe that if we were to be their light in the dark, we could impact people's lives in many ways that we could never imagine. I just find it amazing that God's love never runs out. I have always believed in Christ, but I have never really had a personal relationship with him, and that's what I've been working on. I pray that I can show the love of Christ and to grow in him every day. My life verse is Philippians 3:14. I press toward the upper call of Jesus Christ. Having this verse to reflect on every day reminds me to keep striving for God, because I know that his plan is much more than I could ever imagine for myself. And for my testimony, I can't really say that I've had a radical change in my life, but that God has never left my side. The next year I'm going to need God the most in my life when making decisions on where I'm going to college and in what direction I want to go in life. So I want to say I'm very thankful to be a part of the school ministry, because I don't know where I'd be without y'all. And it's really an honor to be on this homecoming court. Thank you.
Hi, y'all. My name is Sarah Sullivan, and I'd just like to start off to thank my senior class for nominating me to represent our grade on the homecoming court. It is a true honor. I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. This will be my 13th year going to Elka, and started off in K4, went all the way up, was homeschooled in 5th grade, and then came back in 6th grade, and, well, halfway came back virtually. But then I came back in 7th grade, and so been full-time here. This is kind of scary thing, and this is my last year. But I remember one day in 3rd grade in Miss Justice's class, I came in and I just had a time, I think it was a Monday, I just had a time on Sunday where I just felt like I didn't want to die. I wanted to go to heaven. I wanted to live eternally with the Lord, and just the thought of not being with him was just a scary thing. So I was thinking, okay, I want to be with him forever. And I made that decision that Sunday night. And I remember coming in the next morning and talking to Miss Justice, be like, Miss Justice, I need to tell you something. She's like, okay, hold on. And then she came up to me, and I was like, I just wanted to let you know that I accepted Christ last night. And I just remember her just loving all over me, being like, that's the greatest thing ever. And that's just one memory that I remember most. Well, of course, this was the most important event because it shaped everything else that happened in my life. I just had the privilege of being able to do many things at Elka. One of them is being able to play softball since 6th grade, and most of all, being able to play with the same girls since 6th grade. It's more like they're more my sisters now than like extended onto my family. It's just fun being able to have the same people and just be able to work hard, and they can just help you through anything. Like I can come to them, like besides softball. I've also been blessed to experience things like going to state and just really experiencing what hard work will do. They've been the best past 4 years of my life. I've had some ups and downs through the years, but being able to come here is a complete God thing, and has definitely helped me grow spiritually. I remember at the end of my sophomore year, my parents telling me that probably won't be able to go here next year, and just to really think about the last times that you'll have here, and just really thinking about how it's going to change your life and how you're going to be going to a new place next year. And I kind of remember in that time really just being upset with God, and just really asking him kind of like, why is my whole life changing right now? I mean, it's not something extreme, but it was extreme to me. And the thought of leaving Elka after so many years and having to let go of so many great relationships was devastating to me. And I remember just praying and trusting God for godly friendships, and then I had finally received them, and it was kind of like, well, Lord, why are you taking them away from me? But through that time, I just remember having to trust him and show me his will, even if it meant leaving. It wasn't easy, but in my heart, I knew that that was the right thing, and I was in his hands. From the time I became a Christian until today, I have thankfully grown in my walk with Christ, and I know he's been walking with me and has taught me so much along the way through experiences of almost leaving, or through injuries, or just through wanting the relationships and then receiving them. Also, through ELCA, it's been a blessing to be able to go on the Nicaragua mission trips and being able to experience things that I have never been able to experience before. It's helped me to grow closer to him and just have a better understanding of what's going on in the world around us. It was definitely eye-opening. God showed me how blessed we are in America, and he has also showed me that only true peace comes from him. In John 14:27, he says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." I'm grateful for him providing me the parents that he has given me. They have helped me grow spiritually in my own home. Without them guiding me and helping me learn about the Lord, I would not be where I am today. My coaches and teachers have also impacted my life greatly. Both my coaches and teachers challenge myself, or help me to challenge myself and encourage me as I go through experiences, whether it's on the ball field or in the classroom. I just like to say that through my personal experiences that I'm truly privileged, and I believe we are all truly privileged to be able to come to this school and worship and learn about Christ freely. And along with worship, we have the academics and athletics, which are also based on the Lord, and we know the victory that may come from them are for him. Looking back from the beginning to where I am now, I can honestly say that I love the Lord with all my heart, and I'm 100% positive where I'm going when either he comes back or when I die, whichever one comes first. I pray we'll all be living eternally with him. We know he's the one who took all our sins and placed them on his son, that we may have the grace of being in heaven with him when we die. I just like to again thank everyone for your time, and I hope you all have a righteous day.
Hi, I'm Riley Zimbrick. I've been going here for 13 years. I got saved when I was 8, but I'm not really going to talk about when that happened. They told us to talk about something that's been going on recently with God in your life. And a lot of you who know me know lots been going on recently. And if you don't know me, well, okay. Last year, everything was normal. Everything was going pretty good. I was happy. Summer started. It was normal for about 2 weeks. I was hanging out with friends, doing everything, and just doing whatever. And then one day, I was out. I think I was eating dinner with friends, whatever. And my dad called me. And at first he sounded like he was laughing, but then all of a sudden I realized he was crying. And he was just get home. And I didn't know what was going on. So I got home. There were police cars everywhere, ambulances, whatever, the whole shebang. So I ran up to the front door, and my dad was crying, and I just had this feeling. So I just looked at him, and I was like, is mom dead? And it was a complete shock. No one saw it coming. And he was like, yeah. And I broke down, I freaked out. It was awful. So that night, it was still in that shock phase where it's kind of did that just happen? So I was fine, I was whatever. And all my friends came over, and they just showed up, and it was amazing, and I don't know what I would have done if they hadn't have showed up. And that went on for like 2 weeks. And like my friends were there all the time, no matter what. And it was great, and I loved it, but I was like dependent on them, and like that's how I focused on. I was like happy with my friends being there. Like at night, they spent the night with me, so like I never had to like realize that like my mom just died. And so finally, like they had to take their lives off pause, and they had to start like leaving me alone. And so like people like periodically like kept coming over like less and less, and eventually my dad had to go back to work, so I was completely alone. And it all just hit me. I started getting depressed. I didn't want to go out. Like if someone asked me to like come hang out, like I would just tell them I couldn't. Like I already had plans, whatever. But really, I was just laying in bed and crying. It was great. So I was really depressed. Like felt alone. No one really knew about it. Like they knew I was upset, but they didn't know how bad it was. And then one of my friends, who I had like gotten really close to recently, started like telling me like passages in the Bible to read, and like just started like sending me verses. And it made me realize like I'm not alone. I have God. So like I started like coming back, like realizing it all. And then one day, I went and I was reading a devotional, and there were 2 verses that really spoke to me. It was Psalm 16:11. You will show me the path of life, in your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand you are pleasures forevermore. And then 1 Peter 5:6-7. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. So I wasn't alone. I thought I was, but you had God and his love. And so, like, what I'm getting at is that, yeah, like, you all think, like, you need friends, like, you need this, you need that, but, like, eventually there's going to come a time where you're not going to have everybody there for you. But you have God, and that's honestly, it's all you need. And I just realized that, I mean, I'm still, like, it's still pretty rough. I mean, it was 2 months ago. But it's getting better, and it wouldn't be if it wasn't for God. So I guess I'm just, like, giving you the advice, like, don't let go of him, because it's all you need. Thanks for voting me on homecoming. Thank you.
Okay. Freshman, sophomore, and junior homecoming reps need to stay back. We're going to dismiss in just a second. Let me say this. Tomorrow is Pajama Day. Is that right? Pajama Day tomorrow. Salad dressing day on Thursday. You know what that is? Blue Gold Day on Friday. Those are the days. Here's the deal. Listen up. Hold up, guys. Where are you going? Sit down. Remember, you're in theme or in uniform. If you would like to wear your tie vest tomorrow, guys, you may do that. Girls, you can wear your Wednesday dress if you want to, or you can be in theme day, which is pajama day. Okay. Tomorrow morning, we're going to run another chapel schedule tomorrow morning. We will have accountability groups. You'll meet with your accountability group leader tomorrow. Will be your first day. You'll meet during the whole chapel time tomorrow. I'm handing out those lists to teachers today. Either this afternoon or first thing in the morning, there will be a list by grade on the bulletin board outside of Miss Michelle's office that tells you which accountability group you're in and what room you will meet in. It will be, you will meet during chapel time tomorrow. Okay? Let's give all of our senior reps a great hand. Great job, guys. You got a tough task picking one guy and one girl, but you're going to have to do that. So remember, all homecoming reps meet here. Everybody else, third period. You're dismissed to third period.